Welcome to This Day for this Tuesday, August 25th. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Paul Ortiz, and I'll be hosting the program for the next half hour. However, Lisa did get an opportunity to talk to a couple guests, so we'll be bringing that to you as well. Well, we have quite a few meetings for you today, so we want to be sure and share those with you, especially if you're watching our morning program. The GRF Equestrian Ad Hoc Committee, they're going to be meeting this morning at 9:30 a.m., so you can pick that up right after our program. And as well, if you live in Third Mutual, Third Resident and Compliance Committee will be meeting at 9:30 a.m. as well, and you can see that all virtually. The United Finance Committee, they're going to be meeting at 1:30 this afternoon, and you can go to lagunawoodsvillage.com meetings, and you can participate, and they'll also give you information as regarded to sending in emails and any questions or comments you might have as well. Well, let's tell you a little bit about our show. We're going to have Lisa joining us virtually through Zoom, and she's going to be talking to Chris Collins. She's with the Laguna Woods Foundation, a great organization, been together for quite some time here. Their slogan is Neighbors Helping Neighbors, and I think it's going to be a very interesting interview, especially in today's days. Obviously, we know that we have neighbors out there that could use a little help. So if you're able to help in some way and help out the foundation, be sure and check out this interview. And you can also go to their website, Foundation of Laguna Woods Village.com, and that'll get you some information regarding helping neighbors, neighbors helping neighbors, a really great cause. Also, Catherine Freshley will be joining us. She's on the El Toro Water District Board, and Lisa got a chance to talk to them as well. I'm sure they'll be talking about, the rate increases that possibly will happen here in the next, year or so, and some other things that El Toro Water District has done. They've done a terrific job of doing a PSA that's telling you about how their water quality is so safe here in our community. So be sure and stay tuned for that as well. Well, let's tell you about some of our reminders with COVID again. These are the websites that we share with you every single day, and that is ochealthinfo.com, cdc.gov, and then they have the covid19.ca.gov, and that is the one that Governor Newsom's office puts together, and you can get the state numbers and also some reopening plans that they might have. And of course, they added that 714 number for any comments or information you would like, and you can get that's their hotline. So be sure and check that out as well. Also, you can always go to our website, LagunaWoodsVillageAlerts.com, and you can see what information we have there. We're always updating that, so be sure and check that out. And if you have any comments or questions, be sure and email us at info@LagunaWoodsVillage.com. Well, let's go outside. It's going to be another warm day. If you're watching our morning program, it's still a little cooler, but as you can see, we have a lot of heat coming the next few days. 87 seems to be the number that we're seeing, so it's going to be warm for the next few days, and hopefully it'll start to be a little cooler as the weekend approaches. But overnight temperatures at least are in the high 60s. Sometime last week they were in the low 70s, and I think that's even more uncomfortable than getting out today when it's a bit warm and humid. But having warm nights is not comfortable as well. But we want to make sure that everybody's wearing their sunblock, stay hydrated, and go on those walks early in the morning. Well, let's take a look at that sunrise and sunset. This morning's sunrise was brought around 6:21, I believe is what it was. There you go, 6:21 a.m. was our sunrise this morning. Our sunset will be this evening at 7:25 p.m. That looks like a picture that was around either sunset or sunrise, and that's a beautiful photo by Sue and Jules Anderson. And this is out in Ojai, California. A beautiful picture there. I love the dramatic shadows and the landscape there in the foreground. It looks beautiful. Great job there. If you have any photos you want to bring to us, be sure and email us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to include that on our program. Well, we'll be back with Lisa, and she's going to be talking to Chris Collins with the foundation right after these messages.
Hearing aids require a lot of attention. Don't underestimate the problems earwax can cause. Come in and see inside your own ear canals to find out how much blockage you have. Debris like earwax can cause up to 45% reduction in amplification. Your hearing aids may be able to be significantly improved to help you hear conversations clearly with a simple office visit. Every day, patients say, "Oh my gosh, that sounds so much better." Stop in or call us today for a complimentary cleaning and ear inspection. Tell them Stuart sent you.
There are many treasures within the walls of Laguna Woods Village. The foundation of Laguna Woods Village is one of them. Nowhere in the nation has a community embraced a commitment to assist its own residents with temporary emergency support. Since 1997, the foundation makes that support available through donations by individuals, clubs, organizations, and bequests. Help the foundation to help the real treasures within the village, our friends and neighbors.
Welcome back. Today I am joined by Chris Collins, who is here on behalf of the Foundation of Laguna Woods. Well, Chris, thank you for joining us. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
I'm great. Been working hard trying to make sure everybody gets all their information. How are you holding up with the COVID-19?
I'm doing well. I'm very, I've been on a lot of Zoom board meetings. So anyway, yeah, I'm fine. I'm
Good.
fine, thank you.
Keeping busy, and that's important.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the foundation. I know it is extremely helpful to many of our residents. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, the foundation was actually came together like 22 years ago, and it was in response to some kind of an emergency that had actually happened in the village. There was a flood. And so anyway, the whole notion of the foundation is to really be able to help neighbors in need. And, the critical thing is that we work closely with social services. Everyone that we help has been vetted by social services. So our motto is actually neighbors helping neighbors. And so during this time, the needs have changed a bit, but we still are doing a lot of things to help neighbors. Only people that live here in Laguna Woods, and that's unique.
Exactly. And then, so what are some of the things that you mentioned you had to kind of shift your focus a little bit. So what are some of the things you're helping people out with now?
Well, 2 years ago, the executive board of the Foundation of Laguna Woods decided that it would be wise to set aside a certain dedicated fund for, disasters, responding to disasters, thinking it would be like earthquakes or, fires, and never anticipating the fact that, we would be coming upon this pandemic. But nonetheless, that's an emergency. So we have continued to use that fund to respond to needs of residents here. And of course, it's all at the behest of social services when residents contact them. But one of the things we are continually committed to seeing that particularly vulnerable residents do not go hungry. So we set up a certain another fund that has to do with food resources. It could either be that they would get the grocery cards from Stater Brothers, or we've also paid for delivery services like Instacart, because there are certain people that really can't get out. So we've done that. Another thing is that we made a big contribution in purchasing masks, which were distributed to all residents here in Laguna Woods, because we're concerned about safety, health and safety. So those were two things that we hadn't, that were a little bit unique and came out of this emergency fund.
Okay, that's great. And working with resident services, what does somebody need to do to be able to participate in this program?
Well, if a resident has any kind of a problem, our goal is to assist folks that have temporary financial emergencies. This is not a long-term thing. But if one has a need, the key is to contact social services, because they they take care of making all the connections with who can help them. And they have a lot of different vendors and so on that they deal with. But when they come to a place where they can't really find a funding stream, then they come to us, having vetted the person that has requested. And so, we pay for things like maybe it's co-pays on the prescriptions. It could be for food. We've had a bus that we paid for to have people go to South Coast, the food bank that's at South County Outreach, various things like that. But it's all comes through when we've been notified by social services.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your responsibility with the foundation.
Well, my responsibility has been mainly to do a lot of speaking at the behest of the foundation. So, heretofore, I was going to the public comment portion of the various board meetings. I would go to GRF, I would go to United, and then I would go to Third. Well, given that the format of all of that has changed, I haven't been doing that. But that's what I've been doing it for like almost 4 years now. Okay. So, and it's always just been a short thing, little short pitch, but we want people to know, first of all, that we're here, that it's only for, for residents. It's completely handled confidentially by social services. And the big thing is that our fundraising is completely from residents, clubs and residents. And we are such, we're so grateful for the continued support, and there is continued support.
Oh, good. So people are not forgetting about you during this time, which is great.
Well, interestingly, we usually do 2 campaigns, appeals, if you will, financial appeals twice a year. We do one in the spring, we do one in the fall. Well, the way things happened with the pandemic, we decided it wasn't really appropriate to do that. But interestingly enough, people have continued to send in donations to the foundation, which has been wonderful. And Marcy Scheinwald, who is the president, she had the wonderful experience of someone, a resident, contacting her and saying, you know what, I would like to donate a portion of my stimulus check that I received to the foundation. So that was a very happy day. So,
oh, isn't that nice? That is great.
Yes.
And just like your motto is, neighbors helping neighbors. I think that is just wonderful. Well, excellent news. So now, if they would like to find out more information about the foundation, what would you recommend they do?
Well, if anyone is interested in the foundation, we have an email contact, and I'm hoping that maybe your tape could run it. Well, it's the foundation at comline.com, or we have a telephone number, a local telephone number, which is 949-268-2246. And so those are 2 ways to contact us.
Okay, well, great. Well, so then, of course, the best way for them to go about this and to apply and sign up is to go through social services, which we've got a number of 949-597-4267. And that's their first place to go, correct?
Absolutely. And they, even though all of the psychiatric social workers and staff at social services are working remotely, they still man the phone during work hours, Monday through Friday. So it's relatively easy to get in contact with them, and they've been so responsive, so helpful.
That's wonderful. Well, congratulations on being successful and helping everyone. And we'll touch base with you guys again.
Thank you so very much for this time. And to all viewers who have made contributions to the foundation, we are so grateful because it allows us to be able to continue this good work. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back after this.
May know age well for delivering life-saving Meals on Wheels to homebound seniors. But did you know they keep seniors active and engaged at 10 modern centers? serve nutritious congregate meals amid friendly surroundings, transport seniors safely to and from appointments, and provide much-needed equipment and other essential services. Now, this vital nonprofit organization needs your support to sustain its mission. This is Age Well Senior Services. Won't you make it yours?
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Catherine Freshley, who is here from the El Toro Water District. Well, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
Great. So I know you have a few things that you would like to update us on about the water district. So we'll just let you start right off. Looks like you want to talk a little bit about financials.
Right. I want to talk about the budgeting process that we have, which is really quite similar to what is done in the village. Although in the water district, we have a few other issues that we typically have to work with, plus we're governed by law as to the actions that we can take, which is, quite different from the housing mutuals.
Okay.
And we have several financial objectives that we really are attempting that we have to cover. We have to have sufficient revenue to cover the operations and the capital budgets. We have, because which is different from housing, from the mutuals, of which I had been very much involved in, is, when any of our capital projects are typically handled by bonding, particularly if they're a large project, just like the recycled water program. And so in doing that, when you have bonds outstanding, then typically they are pretty commanding on meeting debt coverage ratios, of making sure, because they're watching the books to make sure that we're following. So it reduces some of the flexibility that we might have, particularly when setting rates or not even setting rates, as to the exposure that they would have, which most investors are always concerned about.
Okay.
So these are the restrictions that you have with the water district that you don't have within the housing mutuals. And then our board itself, the whole purpose of what we're trying to do is to make sure that we are maintaining or controlling costs effectively and stretching for efficiencies on a continuing basis, which, when I was involved in housing mutuals, we always did that too.
Okay.
Those are the financial objectives. And what are the cost drivers that we have? Well, different from a lot of water districts, we don't have any natural supply. All of our water is imported. So we are dependent upon then the metropolitan Water District of Southern California and Metropolitan Water District of Orange County, which supplies our water. So that, so a good part of our water comes from Northern California, and the impact of that is that then we're what happens in the Bay Delta area influences our situation, and how much water we're going to get. Because as you know, all you have to do is read the paper, and occasionally the allocation, which would be 100%, might drop to 20%. So then you're really scrambling to find out where are we going to get adequate water, for the community. Now, we also have the source of the Colorado River. So that water is one of our sources also. And it's balanced, and all of that water then is processed through the Deemer plant, which is up in Yorba Linda, and by the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California.
Right.
Recently, we made an investment in the Baker, there's the new treatment plant, Baker treatment plant, where we can take untreated water and treat it and use it for us. And one of the things that we have done there is that, to give us an alternate supply. And so we can, now have a little bit more flexibility than we have. We're not just reliant on one treatment plant to have our water.
Right.
Okay, so one of the things we really have to balance, though, is the long-term capital. You'll see on the slides, there's a slide that shows a reservoir, which is to the right when that's projected. And that reservoir has a cover on it. That reservoir is the largest reservoir in Orange County. It was built by the Water District many years ago. Presently, it's jointly owned by El Toro and by the Santa Margarita Water District.
Right.
But it's covered, so we don't have losses, the evaporation losses. That cover, though, is expensive, and we're anticipating within the next couple of years of having to spend $5 million just to put a new cover on that thing, because it's about 20 years old.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And then the next thing you're going to see on the slide is, our wastewater that hasn't been recycled, basically, which is the water and all the solids, we have to take down to the South Orange County Water District, SACWA, which is a JPA, which is a Joint Powers Authority, consisting of 10 different agencies. And they're responsible for processing then our sewage and the solid waste. Some of it, once it's concentrated, then that's used for fertilizer. But the liquid from that then is cleaned adequately in order to discharge into the ocean. Well, going forward, SACWA we're going to be investing over the next 5 to 10 years, another $8 million just in SACWA. So, in the water district area, you talk about a lot of money, and it's all infrastructure.
Yeah.
What we want to make sure of is we're current. We don't want to find ourselves like in Flint, where they end up with poor water because of decaying pipes and things like this. So, it's urgent that for our own health and safety, we need to be making these capital investments. So that's one of the things that really drives us, making sure that when we have if we have any increase in our rates, it's to ensure that we are adequately covering the purchase of water and making sure that we're going to have the capitalization for the agency and for providing adequate service to the customers. We're looking then at a rate increase for next year, which is going to be 7 cents per 100 cubic feet. Now, what is that increase, commodity rate increase? It's about 1 to 3%. And then there's also going to be a fixed meter rate increase, which runs between 6.5 to 7.5 cents, because the meters periodically you have to be changing those out, and so the fixed meter charge is that which covers the cost for us to service those. We're not going to be increasing the sewer rates, and we're not going to be increasing the capital rates. So the total rate increase we're forecasting, or we're planning on implementing, is about 1.4 to 2.6%.
Okay.
What does it mean to the community? Well, you'll see one of the slides there, and it shows basically what it means overall. But it works out to be essentially $1 per manor per month, which would be in your monthly assessments.
Well, that's not too bad.
Well, no, we're trying to make it so that, we want to position ourselves so that we really have the capital infrastructure to provide to provide the water, clean, fresh, adequate, and you've had Dennis Cafferty on to explain, the quality of our water, and we want to ensure that we have that quality. We have a sewer system that doesn't create issues by overflowing or by not carrying or properly processing the water for effective discharge into the ocean. It's just part of life, in a society, and it's our obligation to make sure we're doing the best situation, to have the best outcome for everybody.
Right. No, I mean, it takes a lot. Like you said, there's a lot of behind the scenes things I don't think any of us realize. Obviously, a cover that costs $5 million. I mean, nobody would really know that unless you told us. So thank you for sharing all the information. We appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. Okay. Is there anything else that you have relative to the water district that I haven't spent 5 or 10 minutes talking continuously about?
Well, no, you know what, you guys have done a great job. We've had, like you mentioned, we had Dennis on and we've had other people over time. And, you know, it's nice that you're able to talk differently about each different aspect to what goes into it. And I think, you know, coming out and letting people know, yes, there's going to be an increase, but only making it $1 increase really is ideal, because who knows, you know, other water districts could be raising it even higher.
Well, and one of the things that we had to look at, because it was a question, you know, should we not raise it at all? But all that does is just then put further down that we're going to have a bigger increase later. And I think that personally, that's misleading to people.
Right.
You know, you don't want to mislead people on say, well, it isn't going to cost you anymore. And so you're responding to the immediate situation as opposed to being realistic. What is life about, and what do we need to ensure that we have an appropriate future, not something that's going to be a surprise 2 or 3 years down the road, and we have to raise it $2 or $3 per man or per month to cover what we didn't collect this time.
Right. Perfect. Very well said. Well, Catherine, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you again.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And we'll be right back after this.
Hello, my name is Dennis Cafferty, General Manager of the El Toro Water District. I sincerely hope you are healthy and well. I want to assure you the district staff remains hard at work to ensure the reliability of the water and wastewater systems that serve our community. Please know your drinking water remains safe. The COVID-19 virus is not present in the drinking water delivered to your home. The district continues to frequently and routinely test the drinking water system to verify it meets all health standards and requirements. It's also important to note during this period when flushable wipes and other cleaning wipes are being used more frequently at home, please do not flush them down the toilet. These items can cause blockages and sewer spills. Toilet paper is the only material that should be flushed down the toilet. The district's customer service representatives are available by phone or email to answer any questions you may have or address any concerns you may have about payment during this crisis. Thank you for your attention. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay strong.
Well, very quickly, I just want to remind you that you can go to foundationoflagunawoodsvillage.org. I believe I said .com a little bit earlier in the program, but if you want to help out a neighbor and help out that wonderful foundation, be sure and visit their website, foundationoflagunawoodsvillage.org. Let's go outside real quick and take a look at the weather. It looks like it's starting to clear up a little bit. It's definitely going to be a warm one here in Laguna Woods. 87 degrees probably for the next few days, and then you're looking at lows overnight in the high 60s still. So we're looking forward to hopefully having a cooler weekend starting on Friday. So warm temperatures for the next few days. Hopefully that humidity comes down a little bit, and we can have ourselves a nice walk maybe a little bit later in the afternoon or early evening. Well, we thank you for joining us on this program today. We hope that you enjoy your time right here in Laguna Woods Village, and we thank you for joining us on Village Television, and we'll see you again tomorrow.